Hi everyone, welcome back to Crochet Rocks, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make this. This is called my marshmallow square. I don't know why. I think it's because I was making pink and white squares to make a blanket, and the first one, the pink one, I put up already, and it's called the Ferris wheel square. And then this is the white one that I did to go with it, and I'm making a blanket with it. So I'll do a separate tutorial that incorporates it for the blanket. But because they were pink and white, and marshmallows are pink and white, I think this one, because it's all white and kind of solid, reminded me of marshmallows. But it has the same cornering as the other one. If you think, oh, that looks easy, I can easily convert that. This row here is different, and that will throw you. So anyway, I'm going to show you how to make this now. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and you'll see when new videos pop up. Well, hopefully you will. And I'm going to show you how to make this. This one does have a tendency to just ride up a little bit, but if you blocked it, it wouldn't. Plus, it doesn't really become out of shape, so you could easily, it will sew together nicely and it won't make a difference. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. I'm going to use a 4.5mm crochet hook. I've got a pair of scissors, and this yarn is just a DK weight yarn from the Women's Institute yarn, this one that I'm using. But you can use any 3-weight yarn, any colour, combination of colours. Or if you want to make it like me, like my blanket, should I say, then obviously just choose white. And I'm hoping that white shows up really, really well on this table. So we'll give it a try anyway. So first off, you need to make a slip knot. And you can do your slip knot however you normally would. Okay, so once you've got your slip knot, we're going to chain 4. We're going to line over and pull through 4 times. They don't have to be ultra baggy. They just the normal ones you do. And then we're going to join it by slip stitching it into the first chain. I don't want to split the yarn there. And we're going to chain 2. It's already different from the other one. Now in the center of this circle, it's very small at the moment, but it will kind of get larger as we work into it. We're going to make 11 UK treble crochets or US double crochets. Now I like to start off with a really small little ring because it will grow a little as you work into it, so that if you start with a larger one, then it just gets too big. So I'll show you how to do it. It's yarn over into the center, yarn over, pull up the loop, so you have 3 on your hook, and it's yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Simple as that. So that's how we make the treble, and I'm going to put 11 in there. So with these 2 chain, it's going to count as 12 stitches. Okay, so away we go. If I go ahead of you, then just pause me and catch up. I don't get really fast on camera because I'm not holding it in the normal way. It's a little bit far away and there's a camera in between. So I know that some people are going to be slower anyway. Now, as you can see, I'm not counting, so I'm going to have to stop soon and count to make sure I've got enough or not too many. Let's have a little count, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just going to do that closer. Bear with me a sec. It was 9. I didn't trust my counting with the camera in between. So I pull that across a little bit to get more space. And I need 3 more. My last one. Okay, just going to recount them because I'm on camera. I don't want to make a mistake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Cool. So now we're going to slip stitch into our top chain. Okay, so this is our first chain and this is the second one. So I'm just going to go in there and slip stitch into there. Okay, so now I'm in there, I'm going to chain 2, and this row increases every stitch by 1. So in the same space, that same hole, I'm going to do another stitch. So I've got two, the 2 chain and my UK treble or US double that counts as a stitch. So in this next one here, they always look different, the one next to it, especially if you go in the top 2 parts of the loop, which I like to, so I find it easier to see this one. So I'm going to do 2 in that one. And 2 in the next one. And 2 in the next one. So that's how we're going to go all the way around, 2 in every single stitch that we do. That means we started with 12, we'll end up with 24. So that's a way of knowing that you're going right. So I'm going to pause it. It's going to be a bit boring watching me go in twice in every stitch. So I will catch up with you when I get back to this point. Okay, so I'm on my last one. You can see that there. I'm going to just do my last 2 in there. I hope you're picking this up okay, because I was toying with the idea of making it into a different colour so that you'd see it. My first chain and my second chain, I'm just going to slip stitch into there. I can't see it, that's the trouble. What it is, I haven't got my glasses on. It'd be in vain. Okay, I might have to go get them. So there we are, we're back into our ring. So now we're going to increase on every other stitch. So I'm going to chain 2, and in my next stitch, not this one, but this one here, you can just see that there. There's the stitch. I'm going to do 2. And in the next one, I'm going to do 1. And then in the following stitch, I'll do 2. And I'm going to carry on like that all the way around, and I'll finish on an increase because I started on a single stitch. So I'll finish on an increase, and we're going to increase this row round by another 12 stitches. So each round increases by 12. So that's what we're doing. We've got 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So I'm going to pause it then, and I'll catch up with you when we get back to this point where we should have our 2, and I'll have my glasses. So I'm going to pause it now, and I'll see you then. Okay, so I've just got my last one to do, and I'm going to do 2 in there. And then I'm going to join it exactly the same way with a slip stitch into my top chain. There we go. Easier to see when you have glasses. So this round we're going to again, see what I mean about the centre ring? It's grown. We're going to increase by another 12, and this time we're going to do an increase into this very first stitch. So we're going to chain 2 and go into that stitch that we've just come out of. We start with our increase on every alternate round. So we'll start with a single next round. Now we're going to do 2 on their own. So we're going to go into the next one, which always looks weird, like this little half kind of stitch. And 1 in the next one. So we're going to do 2 that are on their own. And then we're going to increase. This way, if you alternate the first stitch being either a single and a double, then you don't collect your doubles in the same place, and it doesn't take on a kind of hexagon-like shape. It would stay nice and round. So we're going to do 2 on their own. Just in case you wondered why I change it. And then 2 in the next one. That's our repeat. We're going to carry on like that all the way around. 2 on their own and 2 together. 2 on their own, 2 together, 2 on their own, 2 together. And then when we get back to this point, because we started on an increase, we'll end with 2 singles. Okay, so I want you to go all the way round and carry on 2 on their own in between your increases, and I'll catch up with you when we get back to this point. Okay, so here we are on our last two on their own, the single ones. And we've made it all the way back, and we're going to join our circle again with a slip stitch into that top one, just as we have every round so far. So this is what it's looking like. Now, if we get the big one over, the finished one, you'll see that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows or rounds of making it into a circle. So here we go for the last one then. We're going to chain 2, and we're going to increase in the third one, fourth one. So we're going to make 3. That's what I'm trying to say. 3 singles. So the first 2 chain count as our first stitch, remember? So that's the first 3. Now we're going to increase into the next stitch. So we're going to have 3 between our increases. And this is really just a standard way of making a flat circle. Should you need a flat circle for anything else, you just go accordingly. You may have noticed that we did 1 between, then we did 2 between, and now we've got 3 between. And that's how you grow with a flat circle, by increasing 12 on each round. So I'm going to pause it then and catch up with you when we get back to the start. And so we will end on an increase because we started with a single one. So it's 3 on their own and an increase, like 2 together, 3 on their own and 2 in the next. So carry on like that, and I'll catch up with you once again when we get all the way back round again. Okay, so we're all the way round, and we're going to finish on our increase just as before, the row beneath the last one, and we're going to slip stitch into the top of our 2 chain just as we have all the way through. Now I'm going to chain 1 and cinch it right down because this row is completely different. Now we are going to start on an increase because we ended here with an increase, and our first stitch was a normal stitch. So we're going to do 2 UK double crochets or US single crochets in this first stitch, and I'm going to pull it right up so that we can see that it's a stitch because I cinched my chain down. That way the chain doesn't get confused with a stitch. I don't mean the chain's confused, I mean we are. So now here's my first stitch past my join, and I'm going to do 1 in each of the next 4. So they do look a little bunched there, but it works out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to do 2 in the next one. And we're going to do 4 on their own. Whoops, let's help to bring the yarn with you. And we're going to do 2 in the next one. So at the end of this round, I always say row when I'm doing in the round, you will have 72 because the end of this one was 60. So we're increasing to 72. I'm going to pause it because it's a little boring watching me do these little stitches all the way along. But that's what I want you to do. 4 on their own, 1 increase. And I'll catch up with you when we get back here. And remember, as we started with an increase, we should end with just 4. Okay, so I've got my last 4 to do. I'm going to slip stitch into the first one, which is there. This is why I always cinch the chain down, because you can go a bit wrong otherwise. So there we are. There's our circle of 5 rounds. I actually said rounds, wow. And this little one. Now we had to put this little one in to make it the same. So I'm going to show you. I have started to join them. Is this the back? No, this is the front. So as you can see, they do join together really nicely. Now I have got a tutorial already for this one. It's already up. It's called the Ferris wheel because it goes around in these circles. I have actually got the reverse, I think. No, I haven't. It's just me. Anyway, so as you can see, it does join really nicely. And to make it the same, we had to do this other increase short round to get the stitch count up, because obviously we increased more with our Ferris wheel. Okay, so now what we're going to do with this round is we're going to chain 3 because the stitches are taller. And if you've done the Ferris wheel, you know what I mean. Now in the same space that we have just come out of, we're going to yarn round twice, go into that same stitch, which is not easy to see. I lost my round stitch. There you go. And we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. So we have 4 on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over and pull through 2. We're going to do that again into the same stitch. We're going to yarn over and pull through the 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. We want 1 more, so we've got a total of 4 in that same stitch. Now this is half of a corner. Okay, what we're making are these corners, and we are doing this half of our first corner. Then we're going to do the side, a full corner, a side, a full corner, a side, a full corner, and then we're going to come back up here and we're going to finish that corner. It does look a little clumsy when you're doing it, but it actually does work out. So now we're going to skip 2. So there's 1, there's 2, and in this third stitch, we're going to do a UK half treble, which is a half double in the US. So we're going to yarn over, go into that stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. So we have 3, yarn over and pull through all 3. We're going to do the same again in the next stitch. So we're going to do 2 of those. Okay, and now we're going to do 9 single crochets, which is a double crochet in the UK or a single crochet in the US. So we're going to do 9. I'll stay with you on this because it is a trickier round. Okay, that's my 9th one. If you're behind, then just pause me. So in the next 2, we're going to do our half treble or half double. Exactly the same as the beginning of this side. So they are all the same, and it is squaring it off. Still a little curved, but the next round kind of puts paid to that. So now we're going to skip 2. And in the third one, we're going to do 7 UK double trebles, which in the US is a treble crochet. So it's a double treble for the UK or a treble for the US. And that's just yarn over twice as we did before. So we're skipping 1, 2 in the third, yarn over and pull up the loop. So we've got the 4, pull through 2, pull through 2 and pull through 2. So that's the stitch. We're doing 7 in the same space. think that's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Last one in that same space. Okay, now that's making that big chunky corner. We're going to skip 2 and start all over again with our sides. So that's a half double or half treble, depending on which side of the pond you hail. Okay, and that's in the first 2 stitches. 9 singles or double crochets for the UK. That's 9. So we just as we started with, we're going to do 2 half trebles or half doubles. 1, 2. So we've created that side. Now we're going to skip 2 and do our 7 double trebles for UK or treble crochets for the US. So we'll do one more together and we'll see what it looks like. So we're going to the third one along. And we're going to do our 7 in there. If I go too fast, just pause me and catch up with me. It's not easy to go fast in the camera in front of you though, so I don't tend to go very fast. Lost count already. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The last one then. Okay, so let's have a look. And this is what we're getting. It's sort of a bit like Mickey Mouse ears, isn't it? This does actually flatten up. So that's what we're doing. We're doing our 2 half trebles or half doubles, 9 UK doubles, US singles, 2 half trebles or half doubles, and then 9 after skipping 2. In the third stitch, we're doing our 7 UK double trebles or our US trebles. We're going to repeat that around here. We're going to do the side, a corner, the side, and I will catch up with you once we get back here and I'll show you how to complete your corner. Okay, so I'm all the way back round. I've done my corners and my sides and I'm going to complete this corner. So we're going to go into this very same stitch and we're going to yarn over twice and go in there. Looks a little odd when you first start off doing this. And we're going to complete our last 3. Does work out though. Okay, last one. Looks like we are going right across, but that's fine. So I just pull that slightly so it's away from that stitch, and I'm going to go into the top of my 3rd chain. So, which is here. Okay. And I'm going to slip stitch. So you see that looks just the same as every other corner. Now this last round is very, very simple. We're going to do 1 UK treble or US double in every single stitch, but at the corner we're going to do 3. So I'm going to start with half a corner. And the reason I start with that is that what I want to do is when I end off dead center like this, and I can leave a nice long tail for joining. But when you end off into that middle one, which is the first of your first 4. I know 4 and 3 doesn't sound like a half, but you're slip stitching into that middle one. So you end up with your yarn right in the dead center, which helps, I think. That way you don't have to end off yarn, sew it in, join another one to sew. Just a little kind of, shortcut, really. So we're going to chain 2 to get us up to the right height for a UK treble or US double. Some people tell you 3, but I don't find 3. I think that's too much. It kind of bows out a little bit too much, and I notice it. So I'm going to do 1 more in the same space. That is half my corner, because when I come back and finish, I'll slip stitch into the middle. So now I'm just going to do 1 in every single stitch all the way to the next corner. Nice simple round. Can't get easier than that, can you? Okay, it's a little boring to watch me going in 1. Now, when you get to the end of this, it does look different, but regardless of how it looks, because, you know, UK double trebles, UK single, or UK doubles, which is a US thing, it's so confusing, all these different terms. But whatever they look like, whether it looks like this one, which is, you know, the double treble or the US treble, whatever they look like, you still go into the stitch exactly the same. So we're doing in 1 in every single stitch, even if it looks different. Okay, so I'm going to pause it then and carry on until I get to my next corner, and I will show you what we do. Okay, so I've went into my first 3 along my corner, and this is my center one, so I'm going to do 3 in there just to turn the corner. Now you might find that this is the round that makes it pucker just a little bit, because we're doing 3. But as I say, when you sew it together, you don't see that at all. Then we just carry on going along this side until we get to this next corner, and we do exactly the same there, and we're going to carry on all the way around. So that's what it's going to look like, and it just finishes it off nicely. Okay, so I'm going to carry on going all the way around. You can see it's evening out these corners. You see a slight indentation where you've gone from one stitch to the other, but it's evened it out nicely. So I will catch up with you when I get back here, finish that corner, and there's something else I need to say, so don't think that's the end and you can go. You can if you want, but there's just one more thing I wanted to let you know at the end. So I'm going to carry on. I'll catch up with you when I get back to where we began. Okay, so here we are. You have also to remember that this is a stitch, this one here, so you need to go in that one because it's the last one. And then we're going to, where we have our corner, we're going to do 1 more, put it slightly across, and we're going to slip stitch into the top. I'm going to try, this is a bit tight, this one, I'm going to try and go into the 2 loops this time round because it's the finish. That'll do. There we go. So now this is the end kind of our square, and as I said to you before, I've kind of joined these with an invisible join, and I've got a tutorial already for this invisible join. I'll put a link at the end of the video so that you can see it. It's nice and invisible, it's nice and tight, you won't pull it apart, and I really like it. So I will put a link to that at the end. But should you wish to join in a different way, maybe you've made your squares different colours and you want white all the way around them, there's nothing now to stop you from doing 1 row of UK doubles or US singles in a colour, like white. If this were blue, if you did pink ones and blue ones, I know you wouldn't, but if you did, then you edge that last round in white. You could then join a white. So there's lots of things you can do, but if you want to do it the way I have, where you've got this really nice invisible neat join, I will put a link at the end of the video, and it will show you how that you can join your pink ones and your white ones, or whatever colours you've made them. So now we've reached the end. I'm going to leave a nice long tail for sewing, because that's the way I'm joining. And I'm going to do a chain, cinch it right down, pull it out, and there we go. I have finished off in the dead center. So it's not really turning up too much. And I think the trick is, if you're good with tension, not to make this last round too tight. And what I was doing here, I was trying to make sure that this one here between wasn't really like tight down, otherwise it accentuated the shape. But that's the square anyway. I hope you like it. And as I said, if you wanted to, you could go round, if you made it into a different colour, you could go around with whatever colour you wanted to make your edge, whether you're doing it white or black or whatever. So that's another alternative if you didn't want to do the invisible giant. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, everyone. Take care, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.